what should my AP Stats presentation look like? Well, it's going to be a PowerPoint presentation. You and your partner are going to come up, and one person's going to share one of your tests, either your fact or your opinion. And here's an example. This was, I think, from last year. How many Elkhart Central students can solve this problem in 60 seconds? So here's a nice presentation, and this is their question. Here's a slide on how they conducted their study. Now, most of your points are going to be what's on the screen. It's going to be the content that you have, most of the points. However, if you would like to get a great grade, then please do a good job presenting to the class. Know what you're talking about, and do not simply read the slides. In college, you will have lots of presentations. Do not simply read the slides for people. You can read part of it, but then you can expound. These people took 9 random classes and asked them, without a calculator, here, please add these 2 fractions. They gave it to them, they graded it, and then they found the proportion that got it right. I did not read it on the screen. I had what's on the screen, it's good, I need it, but a presentation does not simply read the screen. Here's our results. Share your results. Okay, pretty simple. This presentation, as you notice, is very good. Nice and professional. It doesn't have a bunch of like cartoon characters and things everywhere, not a bunch of animation. But if you would like to get a great grade, small pictures would help. Okay, maybe a little small picture up here. 1 picture, not 17 everywhere. Not a bunch of animation flying around. Okay, but this is this is a solid one. This is like an A- one. And then you have to have a graph. For each of you, you're going to present half your project. Each of you should have a graph. Okay, whatever type of graph you think is good. Again, if you need help all next week in the library, I would be more than happy to help you graph it, figure out what graph to do. This is a great graph, beautiful. Okay, 39% got it right, 61% got it wrong. Okay, so fractions, apparently people cannot add fractions very well. Then you're going to go through your 4-step process. Again, you don't need to read it, okay? This was a 1 sample proportion. We did a pretty good job of a simple random sample. Now, if you notice on here, I will take points off on this one because the conditions are wrong, okay? This is content. You can ask ahead of time, hey, Mr. Mack, will you look at my presentation and should we change anything? I would look at this and say, step 2 is wrong because it's a proportion. It should be n times p, greater than or equal to 10. I don't even know what this C value is. Oh, confidence interval. They did a confidence interval. They didn't do a test. And they got a confidence interval of here. Okay, so apparently between 30 and almost 50% of people get the right answer. Over half of the people at Elkhart Central can't add simple fractions. So there's some points off taken here, points off taken there. It's a solid presentation, but it's not great. Okay, if they didn't do a very good job presenting, they just read what was on the screen, this is like a B, B minus. The second half, the other partner is going to come up and he's going to talk. They did, which pizza place did Central students like more? Okay, this would be a good time to have some nice graphics. Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's, Little Caesars. That would be a good graphic. Okay, I've seen people with, graphics here, 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 and here. That's not a good presentation. So, again, they told how they did the survey, so you need to make sure that that's on there. I will give you a piece of paper of what you need. Okay, but this video is just to show you what's good, what's not good about a presentation. So they chose random samples and they handed out the survey and people circled which one they liked most. And here's our results. Here's a graph. The graph is fine. There is a typo over here. Okay, it looks like if I just look at the data, Papa John's is the most. Okay, but could that simply happen by chance? Okay, so you could read the data Okay, Papa John's looks like a clear first. Pizza Hut looks like a clear second, and these two seem pretty close. Then they go through their 4-step process, and they want to know, are they all the same? Well, that's a chi-squared. A chi-squared is everything is the same. So this is correct chi-squared goodness of fit test. They have their null and alternative hypothesis. Okay, you need that if you're doing a test. You do not need it for a confidence interval. There, they said all their expected counts are greater than 5. Now, they don't, I don't know if they list them. Let's see if they do. They did not list their expected counts, so they kind of get a point taken off for content. And they listed, they came up with a p-value. This is not correct. Okay, they did not do good math here. Okay, they did not do good math. It actually turns out that this math is wrong, and I can do the math fairly quickly. If you don't do the math correctly, I'm going to take points off. And then they have their conclusion. So this was a solid one, but there were some points that they got taken off on. If they didn't talk very well, they probably got a C plus B minus. If they talked well, they didn't just read the slide, they probably got a B. Okay, they had some math wrong. Their presentation was professional, but it didn't have anything that made it, kind of stand out. If they didn't have the math errors, they didn't have the spelling error, and they talked well, and had a couple of things, some nicer pictures, then they would have gotten an A. But this is a B, a solid presentation. If you have questions next week, you need to ask me. Okay, May 25th is when your project is due. You will get deducted 30 points if you're not ready to go on that day, and I call on you. Okay, that's it.